So it's a beautiful evening here on the farm. Got the horses here, sun's going down. And I, of course, bought some cool stuff. I actually got a Gasboy Atlas. Two of them. One for unleaded. It's got the nozzle and the swivel, breakaway. And one for diesel. So, had the thing, and I got the keys for them, for the panels. That's why that panel's off of there. So, they have a 2-inch connection down there. Actually, that looks like that might be 1.5, which is even better. And then you have your electrical end, and of course everything's sealed because you don't want sparks. And you got your pump, which is driven by a belt in the motor, 220. Mechanical, which is what I wanted because I would hate to see how much it costs to replace the digital. So I apologize for the picture quality. I have been unable to find my camera, so I'm using my phone, which has a cracked lens again. So anyway, they have meters on both sides. So I have the perfect spot to mount them. It's got the nice big spin-on filter. This is supposedly 22 gallon a minute. Both these are actually supposed to be 22 gallons a minute, but that's only a 3/4 inch hose, so it's going to fill them definitely plenty fast enough. So, and I bought them because, as with the fuel trailer, I've been wanting to install my big fuel system tank here at the farm, so I can just roll whatever up, tractor, truck, and fill her up. So, to purchase a pump that would go on top of the tank like most farms use with a meter would be about $600 each. So I'd need one for diesel and I'd need one for off-road or for gasoline. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I only paid $411 for both of these bad boys. That's right. Gotta love government surplus. And they're only like 4 or 5 years old. They were installed, they used them for just a few years, and then they said I guess it wasn't working out for them. It was a county-owned utility, and they pulled everything out. So they're in great shape. I think the diesel pump's only pumped like 12,000 gallons because there's a totalizer, which is nothing for these things. I mean, they've been known to pump hundreds of thousands of gallons over their life, so it's practically new for all intents and purposes. Now, they came with these two controls, which you basically insert an RFID key in there, a little radio key, and you'd put in your password or passcode, driver, and mileage and all that, and it would turn the pump on. Luckily, you can just take this off because I got the manuals. Thank goodness that most companies put all their manuals online now. Take that plate off, and you can disconnect the wires because this would give it a pulse that tells it when to pump. And it would also, I guess it would actually get a reading from the meter to send back to the main computer. So I'm not going to install these. I have no use for them. I'm just going to install the pumps the way they are, bypass the switch. And that way all you got to do is put a lock right here. So you just put a padlock right there. And nobody can get it off. If they can unlock it, turn it on just like old school pump. Pump your fuel, put her back, lock her up. You're done. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on the little trailer and move them to where I plan to install them. So, well, that was relatively easy. Backed up to them and just tipped them over onto the trailer. So, yeah, they're behind the axle, but I'm not going very far, not going very fast. Got the keys. So, luckily I thought to ask for these before I left. Yeah, otherwise that could have been an issue. But all right, now up to the fuel pad. So this concrete pad here was poured with 220 power for a horse walker. There was a horse walker here, which is, I'll put a picture up, but it's a device. It had a hydraulic motor, and it had 4 arms on it that would spin around. You could hook a horse to it, and it was for walking them to either warm them up or cool them down. So I'm going to reuse the pad since the power's here. Both pumps will fit on the pad, and my plan is to come off this pad with the lines buried under this ground here. Now I'm going to build a retaining wall where these rotten cross ties are, and put my 1,000-gallon tank down there, and that tank, which is 275, next to it for gasoline. And pour a pad down here and put a roof over it and everything, and run power out for lights, and then that way we can just drive down here and fuel up. Okay, so they're pretty much sitting where they're going to sit. So this way you can access the diesel from that side or the gasoline from that side, and I plan to use the studs to put a roof over it to protect them and put a light above there so we can do it at night. Since the post would be blocking the front on this side, I might just put the posts on the back and just have it kind of like a cantilever. And this is what the guts look like. So I thought it had lights in it, but it doesn't. But I mean, it wouldn't be nothing to put a little strip of LED lights in there. That would be super cheap and easy, but not necessary. Maybe one to light up the numbers at night. So this had the wires coming in from the pulse from the control with the key, and then it also had a totalizer going out to tell the computer how many gallons you actually used. So I don't need any of that. So I just need to check the manual. I think you just tie these 2 black wires together, and that makes it totally standalone. But I need to check and make sure. So, but here's the power coming up from the that went into the horse walker. I'm just going to come down, put a T-junction box in, go up underneath each one. I'm going to go in and drill holes in the concrete and put concrete anchors in to hold it down so they don't blow away. Each motor only uses 10 amps starting and 5 amps running, and that's a 20 amp circuit, so I could conceivably pump gas with both of them at the same time, but I don't foresee a need for that. So here we have it. I'm gonna temporarily wire the diesel up and connect a hose, suction hose to it, hooked to that tank, since we got that filled already, and with diesel for now. Once I get the place built down there and put the 1,000-gallon tank, that'll become the gasoline tank. So come out the bottom and dig a trench along the concrete, and then run it this way, and then do the same thing on this side, and then run both pipes across to the oil shed, or the fuel house, whatever we decide to call it. And I'll build a little, pour some more crushed concrete down here, so you can just back down here from over there and fill them up. So super excited. It's gonna be great, and the savings are crazy too. So can't beat it with a stick. Tank. This is my 1,000-gallon tank, and it's almost perfectly clean inside, and it used to have gasoline. And so it's in almost perfect shape. That was a tank. Another tank I got I may install as waste oil, but I'm gonna build a nice cradle for it, put down there in the oil house, run that pipe in. There's you put a 2-inch bushing in here that's threaded all the way through, and on the back side you put a 1.5-inch pipe that runs down to the bottom of the tank, and then you can thread that in the bottom of the bushing and then thread a line in the top of the bushing, and then that can go out. And I can either buy a $200-something foot valve that goes in the bottom of the tank, or when it comes out of here I can just mount a check valve. I mean, that's probably $50, $60. So we'll see. But that keeps the check valve, or the foot valve prevents fuel from, if there is an air leak or whatever. Oh, somebody might have got him a deer. That prevents the fuel from running all back to the tank, and then the pump having to work hard to pull it all the way back, because there's going to be probably about 30 feet of line. Okay, maybe target practice. Usually they don't shoot a deer twice like that, unless they get in two. Possible. So, okay, yeah, it's probably just playing. Anyway, that's the monster baby tank that will be holding diesel. That'll keep me going for a long, long time. So, anyway. Okay. Got the power temporarily hooked up. Now, if it looks odd, it's because that's actually 240 coming out here, where the neutral wire and the ground wire are the same wire, and white and black are hot. I might pull that back through and put a 4-wire through, and that way I have a ground, a neutral, and 2 legs of 110 to run each pump off of. Because on 110 they're 13 amps a piece. 240 they'd only be 10, but it's all wired up. I'm gonna take the nozzle off and turn the on switch on and see what happens. I'm so excited. My hands are shaking. Okay, nozzle's out. Stay, stay, stay. Good nozzle. Woo! And the pump comes on. It reset. And now the pump runs. Yeah. Sweet. So, I'm gonna hook a line off there, suction, and I have a hose. I'm just gonna run the hose over to that tank and just make sure everything's working for now. The gas pump is exactly the same internally, except for it actually has a filter screwed in right there. It also has 2 connections coming in the bottom, which the other one does not. So that'll be interesting to figure out what that's about. One is the totalizer. This one had the totalizer too. And I've just, this one's in the back corner. I just disconnected them because that's this totalizer here, which was to send the information to those fuel pedestals about how much fuel you're, so that it can go into the computer system. But I'm not worried about that. So now this has a bypass right here where the filter housing goes on the other one. It's just a strainer because you have this monster filter out here to take care of your final filtration before it goes in the tank. So, alright, so I got temporarily wired Like I explained before, it's actually 240, but I'm just using one leg. And this place is wired neutrals or grounds, but I'm going to probably run a 4 connector wire through there, pull it back to the cutoff box. That way I have a dedicated ground. I might actually run a ground rod out here too. So I've put a cam lock, 1.5-inch cam lock, and run it to this fuel suction hose, ex-military, which of course this one piece is not long enough to reach all the way, so I had to use the super long piece. And the end of this one's been cut off. It was cut off when I got it, but fits right in that 2-inch hole. Eventually I'll get a pass-through bushing, but I don't have that right now. So, moment of truth. Power. Power. Nozzle. Nozzle. And the tank. And the tank. Okay, here we go. Hopefully it can draw enough suction. It might take it a while. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's old fuel. It's old fuel, and then it's mixed with some motor oil that was in that. That was the last thing I pumped with that line. So it's dark, but it is diesel. It's just stained diesel. Woohoo! 4 gallons. This is a 5-gallon tank. I think it pumped some before the meter really started doing it. All right. It looks like I might need to tighten that belt or replace it. Let me try something. Okay. Turn it off. I don't see any leaks. Now, let's see if it resets. Oh, it's super sweet. Super sweet. That's so great. That's awesome. I'm in love. Now I'm gonna have to mount it down and then obviously run a permanent plumbing solution again over to where I want to put the tanks. But for now, this will work. This will work. Super excited, yeah. Of course, clean all that up, actually put everything in conduit. I'm not too worried about a spark setting off diesel fuel, because diesel fuel can be difficult to start or ignite unless it's unless it's atomized. Get it atomized? Ah. Anyway, alrighty, we'll check you later.